Imagine this. You're at a wedding, and everyone's waiting for the bride to make her grand entrance. But suddenly, the doors swing open. And who walks in? Not the bride. Not the groom. But her single dad ex. Wearing a suit sharper than steel, stepping off a private jet, followed by a billionaire CEO, and 4 little kids clinging to him. The entire hall freezes. The bride's smile vanishes. And in that silence, every secret, every regret, and every truth begins to unravel. Stay with me. Because this isn't just a wedding story. It's about love, pride, betrayal, and the kind of redemption that nobody saw coming. Maya was the bride everyone admired. Elegant, ambitious, and living the kind of life she thought she deserved. She was marrying into wealth, a family with status. The kind of marriage her friends envied. But beneath her polished smile was a secret history she had carefully buried. That history had a name: Daniel Carter, her ex. Daniel wasn't just an ex-boyfriend. He had once been her anchor. An honorable veteran. A single dad who worked long shifts after returning from service, trying to raise his daughter alone. But in Maya's eyes back then, he wasn't enough. He didn't have the luxury cars, the penthouse, or the reputation her parents pushed her to chase. She had left him, walking away from his small rented home and the life they could have built. Years passed. Daniel never came back asking why. He disappeared from her world. So when her friends teased her, while sending out wedding invitations, Maya chuckled and said, "Should I send one to Daniel? Just for the laugh of it." The invitation was sealed and sent. Not because she wanted him there, but because she was so sure he wouldn't come. To her, it was a cruel inside joke. The wedding day arrived. The music played, the chandeliers shimmered, and her groom's wealthy family sat proudly in the front row. Maya thought she had left the past far behind. But then, everything stopped. The double doors at the back of the hall burst open. The air shifted. People stood, confused. There he was, Daniel. But not the Daniel she remembered. This wasn't the tired, struggling single dad she once dismissed. His presence filled the room. His suit was tailored, his shoes polished, and his smile carried a quiet power. Behind him walked a man many recognized instantly. The CEO of a Fortune 500 company, shaking hands with the groom's father as though they were old friends. And trailing behind Daniel were 4 kids. 2 boys and 2 girls. Well-dressed, beaming with joy as they ran to his side. Whispers rippled through the crowd. "That's her ex." The veteran. Maya's groom looked at her sharply, as if demanding an explanation she didn't have. Her parents shifted uncomfortably, recognizing Daniel instantly. And for the first time in years, Maya felt her heart sink. She hadn't just underestimated him. She had no idea who he had become. Daniel didn't cause a scene. He didn't come to ruin her day. He walked forward with calm dignity, shook the groom's hand, and smiled at Maya with a polite nod that said, "Everything, I've moved on." But Maya couldn't focus. Every vow she was about to make suddenly felt hollow under the weight of his presence. Her mind spiraled back to the nights. He stayed awake to finish double shifts. The mornings he packed his daughter's school lunch. The moments he held her when she doubted herself. She had traded all that for diamonds and a big house. The children tugged Daniel's sleeve. "Daddy, is this the princess you told us about?" The room went silent again. Maya's throat tightened. He had told them about her. Despite everything. And then the CEO stepped forward. He addressed the crowd casually, revealing what nobody expected. Daniel wasn't just a veteran anymore. He had partnered with him, building a company dedicated to helping military families rebuild their lives. The CEO called him not just a friend, but the man who saved me when I had given up on life. Gasps filled the room. Daniel's story had spread further than Maya ever imagined. He was no longer the struggling single dad she pitied. He was a man who had turned hardship into legacy. The wedding continued, but Maya's smile was gone. Her vows trembled on her lips. And when the officiant asked, "Do you take this man?" she hesitated. The hall grew uneasy. Her groom squeezed her hand, whispering angrily, "What's wrong with you?" And at that moment, Maya realized the truth. It wasn't Daniel's presence that broke her. It was her own reflection in his success. She had chosen wealth over love once. Now, standing in her gown, she saw herself doing it again. The ceremony stumbled forward, but the glow of celebration never returned. Guests whispered more about Daniel than the couple. The spotlight had shifted. Later that night, when the music died down and the hall emptied, Maya found herself outside alone, staring at the sky. Daniel was helping his kids into a black car, laughing, the CEO patting his back. They looked like a family, a team, a man fulfilled. He caught her gaze one last time. There was no bitterness in his eyes. Only peace. And somehow, that hurt more than anger ever could. This wasn't a story about revenge. Daniel hadn't come to ruin anything. He came because he was invited. Even if as a joke. But his presence revealed something deeper sometimes. The people we walk away from are the very ones who rise higher than we ever dreamed. Maya's lesson became clear that night. Love, sacrifice, and integrity outshine wealth and status every time. And Daniel's quiet redemption wasn't about proving her wrong. It was about proving to himself, his children, and the world that no past rejection could define his future. Because real worth isn't measured by who leaves you behind. It's measured by how you rise after they do.